Alright guys, the Madden 25 demo has been released, and I've played about 10 games on it so far, so it's time for me to give you my review and let you know what's going on with Madden 25. Alright, so right off the bat, I just want to say I'm really enjoying this game, and that's a big thing for me to say, because in previous Maddens, the demo has really disappointed me, and the game's gone on to do that as well. This year, I'm really into the gameplay. And the screens look good, everything looks good, everything feels good, so I'm really looking forward to this. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that good players really show up in the game, and it feels so much more realistic. You know, playing against the Green Bay Packers at least 4 times now, Clay Matthews has been an unstoppable force on their defense, but this is the Green Bay Packers, who do not have a very good defense right now in the NFL, and I've been able to light it up against them, but I notice when I run towards Clay Matthews or I pass near him, he'll light up the guy who's holding the ball and make big plays. He's also sacked me quite a few times, and that's the kind of thing I really like to see. You know, their defense is more realistic to how they are in the actual NFL, and to me that makes a big difference in the Madden game, where in years past, you know, they have a couple good players and their defense is just really good, when in reality just having 1 or 2 good players does not make your defense great, but it's nice to see them show up on occasion and make big plays. That's something that I really like. The next thing I want to talk about, of course, is blocking by the offensive line and by other players such as the fullback and tight end. They all block so much better this year. Last year their awareness was just, I don't know where it was. They didn't know what to do. They'd run straight by somebody that they needed to block, leading to a tackle in the backfield for your running back. And you know, Madden 25 this year, they're really focusing on making the run game a viable threat, as where the last couple of Maddens it's really not been that good, and I have to say so far I'm really impressed. Of course, playing offline doesn't give you a great sense of where it's going to be when you play online, because the CPU is always pretty easy to go against, but at this point in time I have to say it's looking really good. So staying on the subject of running the football, trucking is really good now, and you know, I know I'm using Marshawn Lynch a lot in the demo so far, and I know his trucking is obviously really high, but let's go back to Madden 13 last year, where you get 4-star AP who has 100 trucking. He did not run anyone over, and you know, even when I did solo challenges against regular teams, he couldn't run anyone over, and it just seemed like trucking was non-existent back in Madden 13. This year it's really good. You have to know how to do it as well. You have to hold down LT right before you hit some guy, push up on the right analog stick, and you will run right through him. You know, I mean, obviously it's not going to work every single time, but I've probably seen it happen more just in these 10 or 12 games on the demo than I've seen all of last year in Madden 13. And it's really good because I like to run the ball. I'm a Jaguars fan. We've had a good running game since our inception with Fred Taylor, MJD, you know, all these guys, and you know, running is something I like to do, so I'm really glad that it's being you know, reintroduced, reinvented, so to speak, and it's actually going to be a viable threat on the offense. So the game does kind of feel slowed down slightly, and this is a good thing because you can see the hole and you can run through it, as where last year it was just like a cluster, you know, everything was just crazy. You'd get the handoff and all of a sudden you'd be on the ground, you'd be getting tackled. The physics were crazy. You'd trip over your linemen, which doesn't happen anymore. That's so great. And the game was just overall bad for running. And you know, Madden 13, possibly the worst gameplay in a Madden game I've seen yet. And I've played pretty much all the Maddens, so I'm definitely looking forward to the full retail version of Madden 25, so I can start running on people online. Alright, so another good thing is that tight end streak passes and wheel routes, those aren't going to be as effective as they used to be. And the good thing about this is a lot of people who played online would just throw these routes game in, game out. If you watch my last Madden 13 gameplay, my final one of that series, you'll notice the guy throwing to his tight end pretty much every play. Now, I was able to stop it. I was picking him off left, right, and center, but a lot of people know how to start doing it on both sides, and when they do that, it's pretty much unstoppable unless you're playing like team play, because you can only cover on one side. The AI is not going to pick up on it, and leading the passes was just too powerful. It was just making it unfun, and people who abused it didn't care. They didn't care if they were running your game for you. All they cared about was getting the win and completing the pass. So now that that's been reduced slightly, it makes it a lot easier to defend with your AI. You know, the computer So you don't have to focus just on that. You know, you want to play free safety, that's fine. You don't have to come down and play linebacker all the time just to cover a really cheesy route, in my opinion, and I'm really happy about that. Alright, so now we're going to get into the negatives of Madden 25 as far as the demo is concerned. First thing that jumps out at you is the referees sound really weird. I don't know why they changed it. I know last year they weren't great, but they don't sound like they're in the same stadium as you. I don't know, there's something about their voice that just sounds really bad. They don't sound like referees. The commentary is still pretty stale. I mean, they didn't change it at all, and that's pretty typical for them to keep the same commentators. But you'd like to see them at least add in some new lines, or have the announcers redo some of their commentary so that it doesn't sound so stale. They did do one thing that I kind of like, but a lot of other people seem to not like that, is added in a sideline reporter. So if you have a player injured, they'll go down to the girl on the sidelines and she'll like update you on the injury. I think that's pretty cool personally. I think they could have found somebody with a little bit of a better voice. No offense to the girl who did it, but you know, it's a little annoying, but it's just the fact that they do that now. It's really cool because they do that in regular games too, so I definitely like that. Now the skill trainer, that's something I want to talk about as well. It gets pretty old quickly. I really hope the retail version will have, you know, more features to it to do other things, and maybe better rewards, because I mean 75 overall QBs in Ultimate Team, that's not going to last very long in my opinion. So I'm not saying go make 99 overall players, but maybe give like an 80, you know, 485, something in that range for doing it. I mean, it's only a one-time reward, so it can't really hurt too much. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about the Madden 25 demo, guys. I hope you've been enjoying it. I hope you enjoyed this gameplay and my review. Like I said earlier in the video, I didn't rush this video out the first day. I know I said I was going to make some Madden 25 gameplay the first day the demo came out, but I wanted to give it more of a chance rather than just giving you a quick review on one or two games. I wanted to actually play it so I could give you an honest review, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys next time.